Hello and welcome back to Sakura Space. Last time we discovered who, or at least how, the bounty that Captain Shika and her crew is looking for. A bounty that's worth a full 1 billion Imperial dollars, which is apparently some kind of space currency. They also discovered after a short struggle that Akane, as her name is, has a lot of means at her disposal with attacking Shika with non-lethal drones of high quality. After that we headed back to our ship, and despite having increased security measures, we are somehow believing that Akane is somewhere aboard the ship. So after a short, let's call it crew relationship improvement course with Nami, here in white, we were attacked by massage gel dripping down from the ventilation shafts. A massage gel that had a rather unique point of attacking people. So far Akane have been attacking us twice, and none of them have been lethal. So I'll just grab some tea here. Right. She attacked you with massage gel? If only I were there to be attacked. Massage gel is expensive. It would have been heavenly. How come Nami is the lucky one all the time? I can't believe that she's pouting over this of all things. Now isn't a good time for jokes, Kotori. She is obviously aiming to tarnish our reputation. If word got out we were taken by surprise by massage gel of all things, it would be a devastating blow. Her methods of attacks are ridiculous and wouldn't be able to injure a fly, and yet it's still somehow menacing. We don't know where we're going to be hit from next, and in what way. We are presuming for the time being that she's going to try and throw us off with similar attacks like this. Nothing lethal, but traps which will make us seem weak, useless or helpless. With that in mind, it does not mean that our lives are at risk, and we can take our new identities if worst came to worst. However, the scenario is one that I would personally desire to avoid. It would mean abandoning everything we have built up here, and ultimately that we lost to Akane. Nami seems a bit annoyed by her whole ordeal. She gains a certain kind of focus once something has made her angry. I will not let that happen. The stakes are high, but we've gotten through worse together. I know exactly what we can do. You might not know it at a glance, but Kotori is sharp. If there was a hole in the roof and in one of the pipes, that means you were somehow able to access it without going through the front door. You mentioned a ventilation shaft before, but I don't think that was it. You don't. What do you propose it was then? Well, keep in mind that there are cameras in the main halls right now, and our AI has not reported any unusual activity. The AI in our quarters is a closed system, which means that it cannot be modified by outside interference. Unless she somehow got into the AI core and modified the program setting manually, there was no way she could pass by those cameras. Even if she damaged them or the feed was cut off from our AI, it would issue an alert. Wasn't that hole in the camera blind spot too? Yes, it was. So the placing of it was very deliberate. Alright, let's see. It's a bit hard to read the text at times. She must have known we would stop there somehow. Yeah, that seems better than it was just a simple trap. Nothing about Akane seems simple, honestly, so yeah. Do you think she might have known that we were going to stop there somehow? Huh? How could she possibly have known that? It just seemed like that the slime was just too deliberately placed. I do not think so, somehow. I imagine that the massage gel was primed to react when someone touched a larger portion of it, so it was just a matter of us being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Yes, that makes more sense. I don't agree, actually. It was only a vague guess, but when I think about it, she wouldn't be able to know about things like that. The trap was obviously set up in advance. So, she had access to the maintenance shaft to drill through the roof. In addition, she has to have some knowledge of the ship's ins and outs. There are a number of access points to the shaft throughout the ship, but only a few which would enable her access to our quarters. So with this attack, she has helped us find her. Keep in mind that anyone, apart from company-approved engineers, accessing the maintenance shaft is also a gross violation of company policy. If we can work out what shaft she is using to access our quarters and time our attack at the right moment, we will be able to catch her in the act, and bam! $1 billion Imperial dollars. That was actually not a bad idea. Kotori takes a deep breath. Sorry, I have a bad habit of talking too much. No, your reasoning is completely sound. Although she is often carefree, Kotori has a good theory of mind. She often makes fine observations when people least expect her to. So now we know that she's sneaking around the ship through the maintenance shafts. She probably knows that too. But you cannot access the maintenance shaft without proper authorization. So the question is how she managed to get in there. Only people who know the passcodes for accessing those shafts would be the ship's engineers, and they are carefully guarded. So she either managed to coax one of the engineers in this sector into telling her the code, or she skipped that part and managed to convince an engineer to let her come and go. It's time to do some investigating. Kotori, where is the closest maintenance shaft to our quarters? She quickly pulls out her digital pad and begins scanning through it. It should be in the shopping district. She seems excited now. It was so boring waiting around for her to make a move, you know. Now we can actually take the fight to her. I'm going to get ready. Remember to be discreet about it. If we go out there flailing our weapons around, then it's going to attract attention. Okay! Kotori takes off. By the way, Nami, thank you for protecting me from that massage gel. And thank you for getting it off of me. I'm surprised that an EMP blast was so effective against it. I was surprised too. Anyway, we better catch up with Kotori. She'll leave us behind if we remain idle for too long. It's a later hour, so the shops are not nearly as busy. With fewer people around, it should be easier to approach the maintenance shaft. While it was not wholly within company policy, we managed to go through rosters for this section's engineers. Our next engineer should be approaching soon enough. Remember everyone, discretion. Sure enough, he's approaching. Leave this to me. Both of them nod and step back. Greetings, I was wondering if you had a moment to spare. What do you want? I'm about to go to work. I was just wondering if anything unusual has happened lately. Have you seen anything at all? He eyes us for a moment. Not that I can recall. Really? It's just that my friends and I have some concerns regarding security. How so? There was a hole in our quarters, carved through the roof, and it was deliberately cut as well. No way steel that thick would just get a hole in it. What time did that happen? It was about an hour ago. Wait, I know the guy who usually gets his shift then. He's been acting a bit weird lately, and I did notice that Sakura had gone missing from the engineer supplies room too. I'm guessing you're all looking into it yourselves? That's correct. We take any threats to our own security very seriously. Well, I don't do any of the mercenary work around here. I just repair things if they break. He shrugs. There's not a lot else I can tell you. At least, not without breaking company policy. Either way, I've got to get to work. I don't remember anything else weird happening. From what he said, I don't get the vibe that he's lying, which is hard because it's only text, but this is kind of quarters, so he's obviously not having a good start to his job. What I think would be better for now is to just leave him alone and wait for further information. Trying to push him right now will just backfire on me. If you see anything else, please let us know. Yeah, that's no problem. I've seen you ladies around before, so I know that I can trust you. Most of us in the engineering quarters don't really pay much mind to the mercs, but you three stand out for some reason. Well, I'm glad that we can reach an agreement. Yeah, I'll let you know if anything corrupts up. You do see a lot of weird stuff happening in unused maintenance shafts and back alleys of this ship, so if I see anything else, you guys will be the first to know. I'll make sure that these incidents get reported to our superiors too. Thank you for helping. I just hope it doesn't land me in hot water. Sounds like someone has it out for you, and I'm probably going to get targeted too. He sighs again. Oh well, that won't be the first time. Good luck on your hunt. Time to head to work. With a little fanfare, he disappears down the maintenance shaft. So we have to find that engineer then. He would be able to tell us more if we can convince him to talk. What we can presume for now is that Akane is using him as a pawn in her game. What methods she used to convince him to go along with her plans are irrelevant. Even if we don't catch her this way, this will prevent her from getting into our quarters again. It's the perfect plan. It seems like this is too easy though, and we don't know if Akane has been watching us the whole time. It is then that we hear slow clapping. I think we have our answer then. Well done, well done. You certainly are all very sharp. Did you enjoy my message, Gel Nami? I made sure to get the erotic kind just for all of you. I can see Nami's brow twitch with irritation, but she manages to keep her composure. She somehow knew that the massage gel had snared me as its target. The gel is programmable, so it must have sent a signal to her. Nami looks around at the shifting shadows, trying to pinpoint where she is. Where is she? Kotori seems excited. Come on, show yourself. I want to see what kind of skills you have. Oh yes, Kotori, you always remind me of an overly friendly Labrador. Always so eager and filled with life. There's no better way to live life. But you're dodging the important thing here. Show me where you are. I swear, it's always rush, rush, rush with you. Akane appears from the shadow. Her whip is ready to strike. So this is her, Captain. There is no mistaking it. Kotori seems really eager to start a fight. Now, everyone. This is all just a game. There's no need for such hostility, is there? You sent a swarm of attack drones after my captains. Let's just say that I take that pretty personally. Well, she didn't have any trouble taking them down at all. So I am not seeing the issue here. Surely a mercenary company of your caliber would be able to handle some robots on autopilot. Or are you implying that your captain isn't good enough to do that? Akane lets out a mocking laugh. Oh, seriously, you really are the little attack dog of the group, Kotori. Too easy to rile up with a bit of teasing. Kotori's brow twitches with anger. She leans over to whisper to me. Permission to engage. As much as I'd want to see them duke it out, I don't think this is the right time or place. Also, Akane is prepared for it. It seems the best way would be to somehow take her by surprise, which is probably going to be difficult, but I think it's better to do this. Hold back for now. I need more time to analyze Akane and her equipment. She's out in the open here, so as angry as it makes Kotori, please hold back for now. Why? She is right in front of us. If we take her down now, the money's in the bag. She would not reveal herself unless she had a plan, Kotori. I know you're angry, but if you act now, you might be falling into a trap. So please, hold back just a little longer. What's the matter? Sweet-talking your guard dog into not attacking? How adorable. She really is a big Labrador. Kotori finally snaps at that moment. I've had just about enough of you and your big mouth. Looks like it was futile. However, I've gotten a better impression of Akane from this short time. She is employing her training even now. As I noticed before, she is exactly 3 meters away from us. Her blades light up as if ignited by flames of rage. I'm going to take you down right away. Well, let's see if you can. Before I can react, Kotori is already in striking distance of Akane. All I saw was a yellow blue in front of my eyes. With a quick glance, I can see her blade have the stunning configuration on. She is planning to capture Akane alive. Considering how angry she is, I'm surprised she has that configuration on. Take this! Kotori's blades sing through the air, but Akane manages to evade them. She leaps away, getting out of Kotori's reach. Get back here! I'm not done with you yet! Akane's whip snaps as it snakes through the air, but Kotori is too fast for it. She easily deflects it and once again getting within its striking distance. Kotori, don't engage her alone. No, I don't need any help. She's mine. Oh, am I, Kotori? I have spent a lot of my time analyzing your fighting style. No matter how fast you are, it doesn't help when I know exactly what you're going to do. Oh yeah? Kotori begins spinning through the air, becoming a whirlwind of blades. Configuration non-organic cutting. Her blades form a whirling barrier, and they still have their stun setting on. Since it will cut non-organic material, that whip should be no problem. Acquiring anything except synthetic materials these days and ages is extremely expensive. I have some bad news for you. But your little whirling barrier isn't going to protect you. Akane's whip shoots out again, but it isn't cut by Kotori's blades. Wrapping itself around Kotori's body, the whip restrains her from moving. I cannot help but notice that it wraps around her in a very particular way. But how? My whip is covered in organic leather. I was waiting for you to use that attack. If I had used synthetic materials, you would have cut it to pieces before it hit you. But as it is, you actually did my work for me. Your daggers wrapped my whip all around you without me putting any effort in it at all. Normally you would be too fast to catch, but you put too much confidence in that blade barrier of yours. Akane looks down at her while she struggles. I like the way it's wrapping around you. Wouldn't you say it's squeezing you in all the right places? Get off of me! Kotori struggles again against the binding whip, but it doesn't seem to help. Get your hands off my crew member, I read from my pistol. You'd better not do that, Captain. Otherwise... Akane pulls out a camera. I'll record her when I turn on the whip's vibration mode. Vibration mode? So let me just enjoy myself for a moment and I will let you get away with no one else seeing this little embarrassing moment. It seems she has a kink for these kind of things. No way, my body is for the captain only. All of my hard work will not be for your pleasure. I swear, Kotori says some of the most embarrassing things sometimes. Oh really? Let me try another setting. Kotori's spacesuit suddenly splits open. Well, you can say that. Nanotechnology sure is great. How dare you? I think I might enable the vibration mode now, since you're putting up such a fight, Kotori. Soon enough, the whip begins to hum. Kotori makes some interesting expressions as the quivers of the whip shake through her body. I'll get you back for this. This Labrador isn't to be underestimated. Oh, be a good Labrador and don't pull on your leash so much. The whip tightens, particularly around Kotori's chest. Although it's causing her face to blush, she seems to be resisting the entire time. You really are the fine one, aren't you? All of you are very tough. That's what I like about all of you. Since you're not going to give in, I guess I've had my fun. Next time, I'm not going to be so generous. Your humiliation will be thorough. Akane disappears into the shadows again, leaving her whip behind. Get back here, we aren't done yet. No, not yet, but we're done for now. We rush over to Kotori and free her from the snaring whip. She's a little groggy from the whip's stunning effects, but she manages to stand up by herself. I really want to punish her good. I can't believe that I lost so badly. It's fine, Kotori. She's trying to get us angry so that we're going to make more mistakes. And it's working! I'm really mad! Kotori pouts grumpily. I'm going to show her who's a Labrador when I find her. Just you wait, Akane. You're going to see what a Labrador can do to you when they have you cornered. Nami seems more interested in the whip she left behind. So that's how she fights. Although the entire situation was unfortunate, we have an idea of how she works now. Wait, why did she leave the whip behind? I don't believe it's some sort of trap. I believe it was a method for her to be able to escape. Obviously, if she were to release Kotori, there would be 3 people trying to attack her. And since she is knowing of how close this crew is together, she would probably play on the fact that they would help each other rather than attack before. So maybe she left it behind to keep Kotori ensnared, yeah. Perhaps she left it to keep Kotori ensnared while she escaped. Yes, that was exactly what I was going for. That would be a fair assumption given that Kotori is out for blood right now. Even a few seconds would mean the difference between escape and capture. I think she left it so that she could get a few seconds before she escaped. Again? Somehow I do not think so. Kotori would have struggled free of it when she let go. Perhaps there is another motive of letting it go so easily. Either she does not care about it and has many whips, or she did it on purpose and for some reason we cannot discern right now. The whip must have some level of different configurations on it. Chances are that she wants us to take it inside of our quarters. That would be a fair presumption. With how compact technology in this galaxy you could easily add an audio or video recording configuration to just about any kind of device. Although it's covered in leather, the whip must have some form of nanotechnology inside of it. There are nano receptors embedded in the leather. I felt them when she had me bound with the whip. All of those receptors could reconfigure themselves into cameras, giving her perfect analysis of the inside of her quarters. That's why she left it behind. Kotori hops. What an obvious trick! She had better not keep underestimating us. She is really going to get it next time I see her. I will take this as a vow on my very life. Perhaps we are the one underestimating her. She probably won't try to use the maintenance shafts again, since it's been compromised. Wisdom would just dictate that she's going to take some other approach with next attack. So perhaps the best thing we can do is try to get the jump on her. But how are we going to do that? We can only speculate what she'll try to do next. We'd better head back to our quarters and lick our wounds. Kotori is going to need a lot of time for her pride to recover from Akane's blow. Looking back, I swear I see someone moving around in the shadows. A disembodied giggles echoes through the empty shops. Kotori, are you in here? I haven't heard from her since that incident from before. Sure enough, there she is sitting with a stuffed toy between her arms. She is still pouting grumpily. Hey, are you alright? No. Never before have I been so easily tricked like that. She knew just how to push my buttons and lure me into a trap. Labrador, huh? The doll in her arms being squeezed tighter and tighter. Careful, you're going to make him pass out. She just pouts even harder. He can take it. I just want to smack Akane in the face. It's not just about the money anymore. One thing Kotori cannot handle is failure, or being made fun of. It's been some time since we've suffered a defeat like this, so it probably hit her pretty hard. Overconfidence tends to do this, sadly. It's not a total defeat. You realize that she had those nanoreceptors embedded into the whip. If you had not done that, she would have gotten a perfect analysis of our quarters. But she still knew where to strike with that massage gel. I imagine that was just a random attack. She only knew there was a hallway and nothing else. Given the circumstances, you did well. I guess so. She slumps over on her bed, the doll still trapped in her arms. She knows everything about us, and she targeted us out of all the mercenaries here. What does that mean, Captain? I would not rule this out. I would definitely think that. Well, she described herself as one of our biggest fans. Perhaps there is some sort of emotional connection she feels with us. It's not even a matter of her ego. Hey, you might be right. She obviously holds a high opinion of us, for the most part. You don't just randomly pick a group of mercenaries to stalk. There has to be something more to her actions. I can't work it out right now, though. She must have known that I get really angry when people taunt me. People like her are the worst. They rely on cheap tricks and cheap words to win fights. The worst part is that we are among the best mercenaries in the business, and yet such cheap tricks actually worked on me. Kotori grabs her stuffed toy and throws it at the wall. It lands on top of her precariously balanced pile of toys, causing the entire thing to come tumbling down. The only reason why it bothers you so much is because it was personal, don't you think? She knew how to push your buttons. I know. But I have to do better than that. If every bounty we came across knew about me, I would end up failing the same trap all over and over again. I know how it feels. All you can do is accept your flaws and try to improve them. You can spend all day reflecting on how things can go wrong, or you can take steps that it will not go wrong in the future. I know. She lets out another deep sigh. Reaching over to her shelf, she grabs another stuffed toy and crushes it in between her arms. Oh, I need some more time. I'll be out soon enough, okay? Leaving her alone would be the best option for now. She needs time to collect her thoughts. Perhaps I should check on Nami. Nami's not in her room, so perhaps she is somewhere else. Wow, duh. The 3 quarters are not very large, so I can only think of one place she might be. She's training in the simulation room again. Sure enough, as I step inside, I see her inside the room. This time, she is sitting on her knees. I wonder what sort of exercise she could be doing. Confirm. Enable electrically charged rounds. Confirm. I must feel the sting of failure. Sure enough, all the virtual drones begin to hover around her. However, she is still not moving. She rests on one hand with the hilt of her plasma cutter. I'd call it a sword, but sure. The drones begin opening fire, and still she does not move. Instead, she moves her hefty blade, deflecting the shots as they come at her. From all angles, they rain down electrically charged shots. If she gets hit by those, it won't be lethal, but it's going to sting a bit. Even so, she does not miss a beat. It always amazed me how swiftly she can move her sword. She could have been a dancer instead of a mercenary, and yet somehow she ended up here. All she's doing is sitting there and deflecting, however. And then, it's then that I see it. She's trying to deflect the bullets in a particular way, making them ricochet off the walls in the simulation room. She's trying to destroy the drones while remaining on the defensive. The shots are ricocheting everywhere. It's completely unpredictable patterns. It's a storm of electrically charged projectiles. In that storm, the drones are swept up. The virtual bullets smash through them, splitting pixelated sparks everywhere. And even in the midst of all that chaos, she still doesn't move. Her eyes remain focused, filled with determination. Although more and more drones fill the simulation room, she still does not move. Confirm. Increase difficulty. Confirm. The bullets in the room begin to accelerate. Nami still manages to keep up, although she seems to be exerting a lot more effort. Still not good enough. I need to be faster, stronger. I must do better if I'm to triumph over Akane. She is pushing herself so hard. With renewed effort, she begins to focus on her deflections. It's then she begins to strike the drones with perfect precision. Each reflection downs one of her digital combatants. Soon there is only silence in the room. She looks around her, confirming that there are no drones left. Exceptional performance, as always. Would you like to try again with increased difficulty? Nami shakes her head. No, this is fine for now. I need to rest and collect my thoughts. Understood. Releasing the locks on simulation room. Watching again? She's obviously a bit uncomfortable, but she seems to be remaining steady. Yes, I'm amazed that you managed to do that without moving. It's a necessary exercise. Akane attacks aims to bind or disable, so I need to learn how to defend myself even if I can't move. With that deflection technique I have been working on, she won't be able to strike me with that whip. What do you think? Yeah, let's give a bit of confidence to Nami. Well, as far as we know, Akane does not appear to use any other weaponry. Focusing on how to beat it is probably your best bet. Perhaps it is, but perhaps it would be smarter to consider other possibilities. Nami, why do you do this? I'm trying to give your confidence a boost and you shoot me down like a silly drone in a simulation room. God damn it! Akame has training. You and I could clearly see how skilled she was. Just because she's good with a whip doesn't mean that it's the only weapon she would use. You're right, but learning to deflect bullets could help you learn how to deflect other things too. That is true enough. Practice is practice, no matter what way you look at it. However, Nami, there's one thing I think we must be addressed. Was it really necessary to make the virtual rounds charged? When something is charged in the simulation, that means that it carries a slight electrical charge, and when that charge hits you, it stings. If too many of them hit you, you would have been sore in the morning. Considering the current circumstances, I cannot help but feel that it's unwise. We need everyone at peak performance at the moment. While it wouldn't be lethal, being hit by that many electrical charges would put you out of commission for a while. You need to have some risk if you want to push yourself. If nothing is at stake, then you will simply remain mediocre. Even so, there's wisdom in assuring your safety first. Sorry, I had a bit of a tea burp there. I understand, Captain. For your sake, I will not undergo more charge simulations. Well, that was easy to settle. If it were Kotori, it would have taken ages to argue my point. So, about Akane. After that last defeat we had, she said she's going to start recording. Why is she giving us so many chances? Obviously her goal is eventually to triumph over us. She obviously has an incredible ego. One sign of arrogance is to keep your opponent extra chances to beat you. However, this does not also prove that she isn't as ruthless as was thought. That is another point we should discuss. She obviously isn't consumed by her desire to defeat us. She even has stated that she does not want this to end so early. So that means she is deliberately dragging this out. But why would she want to do that? We already know that she is a fan, so that must mean she sees this as inserting herself into one of our adventures. That's the one theory I've thought about, at least. There's still a lot that we don't know about Akane. It's rather frustrating to say the least. Usually we wouldn't need to create such an extensive psychological profile of a bounty target. Most of the people we have hunted were just warmongers or criminals who couldn't cover their tracks. Akane, however, has proven that she is resourceful, difficult to trace and nearly impossible to catch. She could disappear right now, having defeated us, and we probably would never see her again. I think I also recall that she sees this as some sort of game. What you said does make sense in that regard. She is trying to become part of the story, in other words, but that just seems like a rather unusual thing to do. And not much of a motive for someone who have traveled all this way just to have this kind of mock battle with us. So she's either a very petty person, or she must be obsessed with us on some level. Obsession. Now that would explain a lot. Yeah, I think that's it. She is obsessed with us. But the reason why? Well, we cannot discern that right now. We don't know where she is, we don't know what she's planning, and we don't know how to fight back. Until we sort out what we're going to do right now, there's no point in asking why. But of course, we normally do not take much interest in our targets. It's all part of the challenge, I suppose. Do you have a plan? Yes. Trying to search for her ourselves isn't going to work. We'll just play into her hand like we did last time. So, the question is, how can we bait her? That is what I was thinking too. If we made a trap, even if she saw it, I do not think she would be able to ignore it. Her ego is too big for that. Yeah, I think so too. She's trying to prove her superiority, so of course she would turn up even an obvious trap. Just so that she could prove that she's completely capable of outwitting us. We cannot make the bait too irresistible, that would just make our intentions obvious. What we need is something subtle, something which seems to be of no consequence. She's a fan of ours, apparently, so what would lure her out? I looked down at the pistol in my belt. No, that wouldn't work. That would be too obvious. But maybe... Nami looks at me quizzically. What is on your mind, Captain? I think I might have a plan. Doesn't our simulation room have deployable modules? Nami immediately realizes what my plan is. They only have a certain range, and this plan relies on her knowing that we don't have a simulation room. Don't worry, we just need to think one step ahead of her. Well, this is it. The trap has been set and now we just have to wait. The shops are empty at this hour, so it's ideal for her. Sure enough, a shadow begins to emerge. Hello, Captain. So nice to see you this evening. Nice to see you too, Akane. I was not expecting you to come out like this. Weren't you now? She slowly takes deliberate steps, moving closer and closer, until we're standing face to face. So, Captain, what brings you out this evening? You wouldn't happen to be doing some midnight shopping, would you? Or maybe you're out here for another reason. I wonder whatever that could be. Somehow it's all very suspicious, don't you think? Perhaps it would be. She just shakes her head at me and lets out a loud sigh. Are you really going to keep up with this charade, Captain? Do you honestly think I'm going to fall for something like this? I know that you're listening in right now. Captain, you keep putting so much emphasis on that. Oh, come on. She seems more disappointed than annoyed. There's no way you would just walk out here by yourself and stand in the open brazenly after what happened last time. Furthermore, the crew is allowing the captain to just step out exposed like this. It doesn't make sense. So I cannot help but presume that this is obviously some trick. She giggles to herself. And if it was a trick, what would you do? Do not rush me, I'm getting to that part. Since you obviously cannot outsmart me, then I guess I should just explain it to you. If I remember correctly, you had a simulation room which was destroyed in mysterious circumstances. But recently you've been earning a tidy little profit from your jobs. So naturally, I presume that you have gotten the best simulation room money could buy. One that comes with deployable modules. How far am I off the mark, Captain? She notices a bit of sweat. Oh my, you really are worried, aren't you? It's almost as if you have something to hide. I bet you're standing in that simulation room quivering in your boots. How unsightly, Captain. If this is how you're going to conduct yourself, then I have no reason to prolong this any longer. It's clear who the victor in our little game is. She laughs to herself. In short, your plan was to bring me out in the open with no risk to yourself, perhaps to track or ambush me. You knew of all this and still chose to reveal yourself. Isn't that a bit egotistical? But of course! We both know which one of us is superior at this point. Even with all of you combined, I've managed to outwit you at every turn. Akane's massage gel was all it took to take down Nami, and Kotori took herself down with that silly spinning move of hers. The only one which I haven't managed to best yet is you, Captain. Since you're not actually here, I think we can let this game play out a little longer. But do not get too comfortable. She smiles at me with arrogance. I know all of you better than you know yourselves. This hologram you put in front of me was to lure me into a trap. She motions at a dark corner of the shops. Now who is waiting there for me? Nami, I'm guessing? Once again, that is really obvious. Why would someone be sitting at a table when the food court is closed? She let out a small huff. How stupid do you think I am? No one in the world will fall for traps so obvious as this. She pulls out her whip and examines it. Kotori would be too busy sulking in her room right now to be here, so there's only one of you here, which means that it isn't even a challenge. Akane lets out a loud yawn. I expected better of you, but you're proving to be very boring. don't think I'm going to let you get away with this. That chain of petty crimes on those planets, while you were working under our company's name, Phobos 7, Asia 4, Pantheon 3, and you're tampering with the maintenance shafts and engineers, we will bring you to justice. Why are you making yourself try to sound like a hero? It's almost you're trying to distract me from something. What, Nami? She's too far away and she won't be able to do anything. And my crimes? Yes, I have committed all of those crimes. You do not need to remind me of it. She just smugly grins. Enough of this charade then. I'll be gone before Nami can catch me. But as a parting gift, she pulled out a pistol. I think I'll fry a little hologram module. This will be punishment for trying to fool me with such a petty trick. Maybe could even fry a whole hologram room when I eventually breach your defenses. Configuration EMP blast. The pistol begins to hum softly. Its firing light immediately turns green. She pointed, closing her eyes for a moment. Enjoy, Captain! She pulls the trigger. The blast causes the ceiling lights to dim for a moment before the emergency power kicks in. Ha! That should... Eh? She looks again with disbelief. Is this hologram reinforced against EMP or something? It should have been disabled by that blast. I pull out my pistol. Think again. Configuration stun. Akane realizes our trick too late. She turns to move, but only to take a stunning round in the back. It doesn't hurt, but it will make her move a lot slower. Oh! She's still fast, however, but someone steps in her path. Going somewhere? But you shouldn't have caught up this quickly. She glances again to see Nami still sitting in the corner of the shops. Oh, that's how it is. Configuration non-lethal. Nami brings her blade down, Akane barely dodging it in time. This is great! I was right to have faith in you. Instead of panicking, Akane seems to be getting excited. All of you are so clever! Just be silent. There are $1 billion Imperial dollars on your head. I wish to be done with this mess immediately. But Akane is not giving up. Her whip lashing out, Nami avoiding it with great effort. Despite being hit with a stunning round, she actually seems to be fighting harder than before. Nami keeps up, however. The two of them seems to be stuck in a stalemate. I aim, another shot and fire. Akane dodges it, only for Nami to hit her with the flat side of her plasma cutter. It sends her flying. This is fantastic! You have all exceeded my expectations! But I don't want this to end just yet. Akane begins retreating into the shadows. I want things to become even more exciting. Before we can react, she disappears again. Nami wanders over me, still wearing a focused expression. Kotori, did you get all of that? A head pops up from one of the shops. Every minute of it, including her confessing to those crimes she committed. Good. It's a shame that I didn't get to fight her though. We needed someone to wield that bulky EMP shielded camera. It's the only way we it's the only one we had in our quarters. I know, but still, it could have been nice. Kotori seemed to be pouting just a little bit. Oh well, it's what I expected to happen anyway. The important thing is that we have her confession, and we have some time before she fully recovers from those stunning hits. It was a brilliant plan, Captain. How did you know she was going to try something like that? I didn't. I just planned ahead in case she had some sort of device that would disable electronics. I was not expecting her to pull out a pistol, however. I guess we'll have to be careful about that in our future. Although we got an excellent result, it was still risky for you to stand out in the open like that. Kotori, I could have done the same thing. I did not think unless it was me doing it. In her head, she has already beaten both of you. She's bound to target me next, since I'm the only one she hasn't beaten. This job has its risk, but it paid off. She has surveillance cameras at the entrance of her quarters, I'm certain of that. So she will see Kotori's camera and know that we recorded her confession to the crimes. Did you retrieve that holographic module too? Done and done. Excellent. This has been our first real victory over her. If they are thinking ahead of you by one step, then you need to think ahead by two. As long as we have her confession, she won't be able to leave the ship. With the evidence still exists, we'll be able to catch her. Now we just have to wait for her to come to us. Amazing, Captain! With this, we've taken her advantage straight out of her hands. Yes, but now comes the hard part. Once you've licked her wound, she's going to come straight for us. We'd better be prepared for when she does. Alright, and that is it for this episode. So, in the next episode, we shall find out what they'll do with this recording. Blackmail, perhaps? I don't know. Blackmail seems like a good idea. If there's more than $1 billion, well, maybe settle for less, but trick others into think you're still going for the $1 billion. Who knows? I've never played this before, so I don't know what's going to happen. But we will find out what's going to happen next time. So until then, take